Hello and welcome to yet another build showcase. This time we have Chayula Monk, but conversion from Lightning to Cold. As you've seen in the intro, we can freeze bosses easily. I haven't tried pinnacle bosses because I find them a waste of time right now to do. However, all of the other previous things you can basically freeze. So trials easily done. End game bosses in tier 15, 16's maps easily done, no problem. Up to tier 18, it doesn't really matter. Mods sort of irrelevant. The only mods that I'm skipping are minus max resistances, monsters penetrate resistances, because those are very dangerous. Everything else is just like, it works, so let's go. So in regards to the build has total investment of around 20 divines plus minus 5, depending on how frustrated you are to buy some things and how lucky you are to gamble roll some others with Valorbs. Now, the difference between this build and the previous build that I've done, also same thing, but I just went to conversion, is this lovely thing, which is Call of the Brotherhood. This ring has normally 100% of lightning damage converted to cold. However, we want this to roll the lowest possible roll it can, which is 78%, to be able to still shock our targets, as shock gives us increased damage, or technically targets take increased damage, which is more damage for us. That will help our damage scale on single target as well. Gems have also changed, but there's another thing that has changed, which are Hand of Wisdom and Action. One of the best items in the game so far that I found. It's a very, very good item. However, because of the trade website and people not wanting to sell these, this was an item that was between 3 and 5 divines at the time of purchase. However, because nobody sold it for 2 straight days, I kind of got mad and I bought the upgraded version because it's 1 to 10 lightning damage. I bought 1 to 11 for 8. So this is the thing that pops up the price just a little bit, but you shouldn't be worried about it. You can buy any. The build is gonna perfectly work. It just gives a little bit more damage. It's completely irrelevant. When it comes to the rest of the items, we have the same Quarterstaff I used, 700 DPS total with some attack speed. We've got a new helmet with energy shield, and this is because we are going to use the energy shield to ES conversion on the tree from the Amulet from Subterfuge Mask, which is 2 evasion rating per 1 maximum energy shield on equipped helmet, and that is found here, which is Distilled Ire, Distilled Suffering, Distilled Paranoia, in that order. Suffering makes it a bit more expensive, but it is well worth it. With this helmet, we have 15k evasion. Without it, we have 10.5. So it adds around 5k evasion rating. If you have more energy shield, you get more evasion rating. I went with rarity here, but once they balance rarity out, then you can get even more energy shield, so then the more defense is coming out. Necklace has also changed. There's no more level to necklace. However, one thing I would do is I would get a 50 to spirit. I'll explain that in a second. I got this one because it had what I needed to fill in the things, and I just wanted a little bit of rarity. Now, why 50 to spirit? There is one thing currently in the game that is not susceptible to change. We do not know if this is intended or not, but that thing is, if you slot in your support auras into the breach, they do not cost spirit. However, if you put them normally in somewhere else, they will cost spirit. So this might be a bug, might be a feature. We won't know until GGG addresses it. Until then, these perfectly work. So if you see here, I have 55 mana regen. If I put it in here, I have 67 mana regen. So it works. That's one important thing, and that's why we just need 50 extra spirit, and that's basically it. Why is this important? Because the chest piece, you do not need to grab the spirit. You can just grab as much evasion and energy shield as possible, as that will also give us more defenses, especially because of this node, max energy shield per 12 evasion rating on body armor. That's going to just shoot up our evasion or our energy shield, pardon, a bit. So we have 3k shield. Without it, we have 1580, and it only has 351 plus the evasion, so it all gets scaled. That's the main component. The spirit is a prefix anyway, so you can get an amulet with 50 spirit and then get a chest with as much evasion and energy shield as possible. I did not change the gear, there was no need to. Ring has stayed the same, this was just a filler ring with unset. Boots I have changed to get more evasion rating and energy shield. I would actually go for straight up full energy shield base on the boots, not gonna lie, to get even more energy shield, as we don't need life, but these are decently good as well. And the belt, I just went for 2 extra charm slots. You can go with 1. I just wanted to add the rarity charm just because, you know, more rarity equals better for now. And I have Stone Charm and Thawing Charm as the 2 mandatory charms to be frozen and to be stunned. For Life Flask, we go as much recovery as possible. For Mana Flask, the same, because Life Flask recharges energy shield. Mana Flask is just a necessary thing to have. Here's how the tree looks like. The Ascendancy hasn't changed. The passive skill tree has gone into a bit more crit here. And let's go the northern part. We've gone all the way up to the Patient Barrier and Ingenuity for Intelligence. It scales well with Hands of Wisdom and Action. For more damage, we've gotten like Freeze build-up and Hits Ignore non-negative ally res of frozen enemies, so you can actually do 1 curse if you want to, but you don't really need to. Hypothermia is my choice. And increase damage with hits against frozen enemies, as they will be plenty of those. For the Resonance, it's still the same, gain power charges instead of Frenzy. Everything else here we've changed from the right side stun buildup to the left side daze and freeze buildup, but we still have plenty of stun buildup as well. And the finalized part here with 1 extra node going into this jewel socket. For jewels, I would recommend, I'm using Chance to Shock as I'm still like testing things out, but I've kind of given up on testing. Chance to Shock, area effect, elemental damage, crit multi, even penetration is good, freeze build-up, attack speed with quarterstaves, gain rage on hit on the red one. Those are all good ones. Choose whichever one is the cheapest one for you. These are all like 1 to 2x ones. There's no need to invest anymore. For final things, let's go over the gems. For gems on, I just keep this close combat because that goes in the Tempest Bell. I do not use the basic attack. Into the Breach has clarity and precision. We have Stormwave with Rising Tempest that gives us 12 more elemental damage for each skill used recently of a different ally type. We are using only 1 ally type, but this gives us 12% more damage anyways, so a very good one. If you want to use 2 different elements, feel free to. You get more damage. Primal Armament for more weapon damage, Heft for more max physical damage, Ice Bite for damages cold damage when we freeze an enemy, and one thing that I really like instead of Inspiration is Longshot. Longshot deals 35% more attack damage to enemies further than 7 meters, scaling down to no bonus at 3.5 or closer. Why do I like this one? Because with extended range that we have, the farther part is going to deal way more damage. Great for clearing breaches and great for clearing content you cannot get close to. Now, mana is not that big of a problem. However, if you think it is, remove these 3 nodes and add these 3 nodes here. On AoE in a map, we are going to get plenty of blue flames, so that's not going to be too big of a problem as well. Next, Tempest Bell and Tempest Flurry. Let's start with Flurry. Flurry is Martial Tempo, Crescendo, Conk Effect, Overcharge for Magnitude of Shocks, and Soul Thief. The reason why I added Soul Thief is I had gotten into problems with mana, where I needed to chug on the mana flask on single target bosses. However, with Soul Thief, we do not have to worry about this one at all, as we won't run out of mana that fast, which is going to help us keep up the combo with the bell, For the bell, we have bell, of course. We have Ruthless for stun buildup, Overabundance for +1 to limit. I haven't used too much of these to put 2 bells. However, it's still generally okay to use. Grant Rage and melee hit, of course. We have cause more freeze buildup, and you can also do close combat for the last one. If you want to be something extra, something special, you can do electrocution instead of overabundance, but that's on you to test. Charge Staff is our buff that we take perpetual charge for not remove charges, persistence for more duration, innervate for damages lightning damage on killing a shocked enemy. We are not going to kill a shocked enemy quite as much, but it is still good for a bonus, of course, and electrocute to give us lightning damage contributes to electrocution buildup, which is actually really good. Now you can see here supported skills cannot inflict shock and gain damage on killing a shocked enemy. The Storm Wave actually inflicts shock, and that's how we get the innervate and, of course, electrocution as well. Electrocution works well on Tempest Flurry too. Keep that in mind. Hand of Chayula, we have Sniper's Mark, Hypothermia, and Heightened Curse, just for a single target charge generation. On our auras, we have Wind Dancer with Blind and Maim, Herald of Ice, which is an added one with Cold Infusion, Elemental Focus, and Magnified Effect. More area effect, more damage, and extra cold damage. Nothing more to ask for. Combat Frenzy has Profusion for additional charge, and Herald of Thunder has Coursing Current, a Lightning Exposure, and Conduction, just so that we can get extra shock, and our last aura is Grim Feast. Now, as you've seen on the preview in the beginning, the build clears everything no problemo. I've played mostly Ritual with it. I've tried Simulacrum, however, Simulacrum was a problem due to monsters moving you and keeping you stunned, which is something that they need to fix. Otherwise, I think it wouldn't be a problem. And rest of the content I have cleared kind of successfully. I haven't tried Arbiter, Allroth, and the others because there's no need to do more. Now, upgrades would be better chest, better necklace, ring with breach ring, and then you remove Hand of Chayula. Single target might suffer, but shouldn't be a problem. So remove that one. Better items overall, and just Quarterstaff with more attack speed and more crit. We have around 40% crit with 400% crit multi, which is perfectly fine. 3971 and 400, which is perfectly fine. But yes, this one is actually a little bit shorter because this is just the sweet upgrade up to 20-25 divines based on what I have personally paid for the build. There's no more need to upgrade this one, and I will continue with some other build. But if you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the description below. Give the video a like if you did, sub if you don't mind. Thank you so much for watching, and go shatter everything with this build. It's an amazing one. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.